Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Government House. My name's Mark Gower. I'll be emceeing the ceremony this morning. And if you're able, I would ask you now to please stand for the arrival of our official guests. Mr Bart Mellish, Member for Aspley, representing the Premier of Queensland and Minister for Trade, the Honourable Anastasia Palaszczuk MP. Dr Christian Rowan MP, Shadow Minister for Communities, Shadow Minister for Disability Services and Seniors, Shadow Minister for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island Partnerships, and Shadow Minister for the Arts, Member for Moggill, representing the Leader of the Opposition and Shadow Minister for Trade, Mrs Deb Frecklington MP. Ms Rhonda Nix, OAM, representing Associate Professor John Harden AM, Chairman of the Order of Australia Association, Queensland Division. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in welcoming our official guests. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. We'll wait the arrival of His Excellency. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you're able, would you please stand for the arrival of the Governor of Queensland and Mrs de Jersey. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Your Excellency, with your permission, I'll begin. His Excellency the Governor will present the following honours and awards. Appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr Eric Russell Anderson, for significant service to conservation and the environment through member, volunteer and leadership positions with BirdLife Southern Queensland and several other environmental and land care groups, and as author of 2 editions of Plants of Central Queensland and contributor to the Birds of the Fernberg Estate publication. Mr Stephen William Conry, for significant service to the commercial property sector through executive positions with Jones Lang LaSalle and the Property Council of Australia, and to the community through leadership roles in a range of community and education organisations. Mr Gregory Lance Early, APM, for significant service to the community, particularly to former law enforcement officers, as Secretary and President of the Queensland Retired Police Association, and through a range of other police-related bodies, as well as community and service organisations. Emeritus Professor Richard Allen Fotheringham, for significant service to higher education and leading academic roles at the University of Queensland, as Chairman of various bodies with Queensland Curriculum and Assessment Authority, and to the performing arts as Board Member of leading arts organisations. Mr John Morris McClellan, for significant service to the community in executive committee positions, including President and Life Member of the Royal Life Saving Society at a local, state, national and Commonwealth level. Mr Richard Brian McGrother, OBE. For significant service to rugby union in leadership roles with Australian and Queensland Rugby Union, Brothers Rugby and international rugby organisations, and to the community as Chair, Director and Non-Executive Director of several healthcare, construction, events and pastoral entities. Mr Stephen Thomas Moore. For significant service to rugby union, including as a player for the Queensland Reds, the ACT Brumbies, and as a player captain of the Wallabies, and through roles with the Rugby Union Players Association and to charitable organisations including Ronald McDonald House, Lifeline Canberra and the 2018 Sydney Invictus Games. Mrs Adele Elaine Parkin. For significant service to hockey as representative player at local, state and national levels, and variously as captain, manager, team selector, committee, board member and patron of Hockey Queensland, the Sunshine Coast Hockey Association and the Brisbane Women's Hockey Association. Mr Stephen Wayne Sheafy. For significant service to community history preservation through leadership roles with the Royal Historical Society of Queensland, National Trust of Australia, and through contributions to a range of other historical preservation organisations, and to the community as board member and trustee of the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. Dr William Francis Saltman. For significant service to education through leadership positions in Queensland higher education institutions, Catholic education and state education bodies, and to the community through contributions to educational, management, welfare and sport organisations in Australia and overseas. Awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr Damien Lee Atkinson, QC. For service to youth, as Member and Management Committee Chairman of Youth Advocacy Centre, as fundraiser for AEIOU Foundation for Children with Autism and Ronald McDonald House, South East Queensland, and as a board member for MICA projects. The Reverend Barbara Boyd Bailey. For service to the Uniting Church in Australia as a pastor, minister, Queensland Synod Committee member and chairman of the Presbytery of North Queensland, and as a board member for healthcare, educational and community organisations across Queensland. Mr. Michael Robert Beattie. For service to animal welfare as Senior Media and Community Advisor for RSPCA Queensland, and to the media through roles as Senior Reporter, Presenter, Writer and Producer. Mr. David Leslie Bennett. For service to Rugby League as Board Director, President, Management Committee Member, Senior Coach and Advocate for the sport at Brisbane-wide and local levels, including with Burpengary Jets Junior Rugby League Club and Narangba Junior Rugby League Club, and to the community through the Burpengary Community War Memorial Committee. Mr. Constantino Cebriano. For service to karate as a martial arts practitioner, instructor, consultant and karate school owner, as founding member, life member, national coach and referee for the Australian Karate Federation, and through leadership roles in the World Karate Federation and other international organisations. Mr. Claude Lyle Harvey. For service to the community through charitable initiatives, including as a volunteer for the Brave Hearts Foundation and for the Gold Coast Project for Homeless Youth. Ms. Pauline Leslie Harvey-Short. For service to sport as an elite softball player in executive roles including President of Women's Sports Queensland and through leadership of entities associated with health and physical education, and to education in positions to the level of Dean of School at Brisbane Girls Grammar School. Mr. Anthony Reginald Lee. For service to youth through the Australian Air Force Cadets to the rank of Officer Commanding 2 Wing. Mr. James Ashley Mackay. For service to horse sports, including as founding president, life member, judge and instructor for the Australian Camp Draft Association, as author of industry magazines and as a member and chairman of the Warrego branch of the Australian Stock Horse Society. Mr. John Anthony Perry. For service to the community through social welfare organisations as General Manager, Consultant, Board Member, Director, Chairman, Committee Chairman and Advisory Panel Member with a range of community, training and employment organisations, including your town, and as a public servant. Mr. Stanley Robert Plath. For service to education as principal and teacher and through leadership roles in the Australian Primary Principals Association and the Queensland Association of State School Principals, and to youth sport through a wide range of initiatives, organisations and projects. Mrs. Katharina Slott. For service to dog agility sports as founding member and chairman of the Agility Dog Association of Australia, founding member of the Agility Dog Club Queensland, a co-founder of International Agility Link and co-owner of Agility Click, a company dedicated to educating dog agility enthusiasts. Mr. Glenn Reginald Stiles. For service to the community of Logan as parish counsellor, liturgical assistant, Sunday school teacher and friendship group convener for the Anglican parish of Logan, as assistant coordinator of St Mark's Anglican Social Services and as a driver for Meals on Wheels and volunteer craft teacher in retirement homes. Mr. John McAdam Sullivan. For service to the community through a range of organisations including the Queensland Grain Growers Association, Freemasons Queensland, St Paul's Anglican Church, Roma, and the Mount Abundant School P&C Committee, and as a counsellor for Bungle and Baringa Shire Councils and trustee of the Shire Hall in Amby. Mr. Robert Ernest Wharton. For service to the community, particularly through sport, as referee and starter for the Queensland Swimming Association and life member of several swimming associations, as founding member and committee member for various Queensland rugby union clubs, and as a volunteer and office bearer in a range of community organisations. Mr. John William Zimmerman. For service to youth, particularly as cadet staff member and commanding officer in Mackay for Australian Army Cadets. Your Excellency, that concludes this morning's awards. Could I now invite you to address the recipients and their guests?
Official guests, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to your Government House. I at once acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we gather this morning, the Turrbal and Yagara peoples, and pay my respect to their elders past and present, with a message of encouragement to their young emerging leaders. Kay and I are delighted to have your company in the Investiture Room on this very special day, the fifth and final ceremony hosted here over this past week. What do they say about being last but not least? The Australian Honours and Awards system, which embraces the medals presented here today, is the preeminent way by which our country seeks to recognise outstanding accomplishment and service. To be acknowledged in this way certainly reflects an exceptional personal achievement. It also demonstrates the value Australians place on community outreach, on the importance of engaging with others and advocating for those qualities which sustain and bind us. It's our experience, of course, that individual success often relies, almost always relies, on the support and encouragement of others. To that end, I want to acknowledge the family and friends who are with us today. Australia's honours system was introduced in 1975 with the creation of the Order of Australia in order to recognise service to the nation, to humanity. Recipients of wider Australian honours and awards are recognised for the contributions they have made to the improvement of our society. This egalitarian awards system consolidates what it means to be an outstanding Australian: compassionate, curious, hard-working, generous with both time and talent. Today we honour men and women of integrity who have made our communities safer, smarter, stronger, but perhaps above all else, kinder, happier. I do not doubt that for the recipients we honour today, there have been times when they felt overwhelmed by the task at hand. But each of them has persevered on life's journey, drawing on the resilience and inner strength needed to achieve goals, and in many cases, I'm sure, to eclipse them. If today's recipients demonstrate anything, it is that you can make a difference to your community and in a wide variety of ways. Today, we honour a group of Australians whose contributions are as diverse as they are impressive. We celebrate the achievements of Queenslanders in many fields, including education, the arts, law, commerce, the media, our churches, community service and the environment, and one who identified some of the more than 55 bird species which call Government House home, Mr. Anderson. We have heard of eminent contributions to history, youth advocacy, charity and social welfare. We honour men and women who have changed lives as well as those who have saved lives through their actions or the organisations they advance. We reward today Queenslanders who have made a genuine difference, whether in the classroom or on the sporting field. And we offer our thanks to those among us for whom the well-being of others is paramount. These awards are not given out lightly. The staff of the Australian Honours and Awards Secretariat in Canberra research thousands of nominations before final decisions are made. So please feel immensely proud of receiving these awards today. I urge you to wear the insignia of your awards with pride and to celebrate the joy your actions have brought to your fellow Australians and will continue to bring to your fellow Australians. As Governor of Queensland, with the honour of representing our head of state and the people of this state, with Kay, I conclude with an expression of gratitude to you all for the contribution you have made to our community, our country, our people. We invite you now to enjoy the hospitality of Government House and wish you a morning to cherish always. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're able, would you please stand? Thank you, Your Excellency. Could I invite you and Mrs. DeJersey to retire from the room for a little while we organise the recipients for a photo? Thank you. Flight Lieutenant Lowe, would you escort our official guests out onto the lawn, please? If you'd like to follow the flight.